Happy Friday, everyone. You're watching WSUM News Friday Recap. I'm your host, Tydriana Antwi. In local news this week, here's Sarah Kirsch with the highlight story on Planned Parenthood Rally for Our Rights.
To keep free choice for women and to keep our families planned. We won't go back to hangers if our right to choose is banned. We rage for women.
Sarah Kirsch interviewed a member of the Raging Grannies of Madison and new Secretary of State Shara Glewiski during April 2nd's Rally for Our Rights.
Putting doctors in jail for practicing health care. And look, yes, I'm pissed because we had 50 years to make this a law of the land, but we did not.
Multiple speakers spoke on abortion rights, transgender rights, and voting in the April 4th Wisconsin general election.
But I'm even more pissed because the Republicans in this building have failed to do anything.
The piece can be read on the news blog at wsum.org/blog/news.
We'll keep raging in these rallies until we stop these crazy schemes against Planned Parenthood. We rage for women's lives.
Thanks, Sarah. Next we have Sarah Kirsch again with an update on last Tuesday's election.
The April 4th general election results have been released. The Wisconsin Supreme Court will be filled by Liberal candidate Janet Protasiewicz. She beat conservative opponent Dan Kelly. The race between Kelly and Protasiewicz gained national attention as it was the most expensive judicial race in American history. Protasiewicz's win likely means that the court will vote in favor of restoring abortion rights and end gerrymandering. The voter turnout broke the previous record for spring elections not during a presidential primary. Over 1.7 million people cast ballots in this election. Rhodes Conway won a second term as Madison's mayor. She became the city's first openly gay mayor when she was first elected in 2019. Additionally, Wisconsin voters voted yes on all three statewide referendums. From WSUM News, I'm Sarah Kirsch.
Now we have Heewone with an update on Donald Trump's ongoing criminal trial.
Trump pleaded not guilty to 34 charges on Tuesday in court. The prosecution stated that a series of hush money payments were made to silence those who had negative information on Trump. Allegedly, 2 of the payoffs were made to women who had extramarital affairs with the former president. This information could have damaged his candidacy. According to prosecution, the president suppressing these claims illegally influenced the 2016 election. Trump was the first president to be impeached twice during his presidency and is now the first former president to face criminal charges. If convicted, Trump would still be allowed to run for president next year. This case will set the precedent for potential future court proceedings surrounding Trump. Prosecutors in Atlanta and Washington are currently conducting their own investigations concerning efforts to undermine the 2020 election results and the possible mishandling of classified documents at Trump's Florida home in Mar-a-Lago. From WSUM News, I'm Heewone.
Thanks, Heewone. Next we have Sarah Kirsch once more with a national news story in Tennessee.
2 Democratic members of the Tennessee House of Representatives have been expelled. A 3rd member was spared. On Thursday, protesters attended the state capitol because of the expulsions and to advocate for a gun reform a week after a mass shooting in Nashville. The House Republicans said the expulsion was in response to the representatives' involvement in gun control demonstrations last week. Representatives Jones and Pearson reportedly called for protesters to return to the Capitol for the next session. Representative Johnson, the only member that wasn't removed, claimed that the expulsion was racist because she was white and the 2 that were removed were black. Expelling members of the Tennessee House requires a 2/3 majority vote. The House has only historically removed 2 other members. In a statement on Thursday, President Biden called the expulsions shocking and undemocratic. He also criticized Republicans for not taking more action on gun reform. Thank you to CNN for this story. From WSUM News, I'm Sarah Kirsch.
Thanks, Sarah. And now over to Vince with the weather.
Good afternoon, WSM listeners. Welcome back to another Friday show. We love having you back for a second consecutive week. You know, last week I was talking about storms and tornadoes. This week, sunshine. Sunshine for most of the weekend and into next week. I see some 70 degrees next week as our high temperatures with sun. Not only has spring sprung, I think summer might be in our view. This is Vince with WSM Radio.
Thanks, Vince. We'd like to thank Channel 3000 for being our news partner. Thank you for watching this week's video newscast. If you would like to hear these updates throughout the week, be sure to tune in Monday through Thursday at 5 and 6 p.m. at WSUM 91.7 FM or at WSUM.org. I'm your host, Tydriana Antwi, and here at WSUM News, we hope you have a great weekend, and see you next Friday.